Welcome back, volleyball fans. We are inside Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. My name is Kyle Haney, and my co-pilot is Ethan Maratsky. And ski, it's game 3 of the day, a little Saturday triple play. Lynchburg and Roanoke kicked us off. That was a 4-set victory for the Maroons, which we will revisit. Then it was a Roanoke sweep over Bethany College. And now the final piece of the puzzle is Bethany taking on Lynchburg. Lynchburg looking to make sure they get at least one victory on the home court today. We both thought Lynchburg played pretty well most of that Roanoke game, especially in the beginning. A great start for Lynchburg in set 1, taking that one from the Maroons. Set 2 was not bad for Lynchburg, but Roanoke really sets 3 and 4. I think you have to say the Maroons took control there the second half of that match.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it was a close matchup pretty much for the Hornets. They played pretty well. It just seems like in that 3rd and 4th set, Roanoke just always had a lead, and every time Lynchburg would start to fight back and trickle back into the game, Roanoke was just right back at them, and they continued to pour on the points. So a really good job from Roanoke today as they won their only 2 matchups today against the Hornets and the Bison. So it's going to be a really fun matchup. We've had a full day of volleyball, and you really can't ask for any more. I mean, we've seen a lot of competition, a lot of great athletes today, so it's going to be really fun, Kyle.
It is. We've enjoyed watching that Bethany team there. Already got some guys that we're kind of partial to and liking what they bring to the table. We'll talk about Xavier Cole some. We'll talk about Riley Burdette. For Lynchburg, we've always got talking points and storylines for this first-year squad, but I know some guys that impressed us in game 1, and maybe at the top of the list, the setter, Miller Varley. We both thought Varley was outstanding there in the first match and really does a little bit of everything. There was a battle for that setter spot at the beginning of the year. Varley kind of emerged, and he's staying out there the whole time, so he has to block at the net, he has to dig, and then of course he has to get those sets on target as well. So we were impressed with Miller Varley.
Yeah, he did a great job, and it was really not even just setting and passing the ball. I mean, you saw a couple kills that he had there, just floating the ball over into no man's land. So really excited to see what he does in game 3 here. I'm excited to see how both these teams are going to bounce back. Obviously, both of them coming off of a loss, so it's going to be interesting to see the coaching staff for both teams and how well they introduce this team into a new matchup.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting if you're Ryan Turner, because I think you have the second game coming up. You obviously don't want to give one of those fiery locker room speeches where you peel paint off the walls, and I don't think Ryan Turner's that kind of a coach anyway. He prefers to lean on the positive side and say, hey, we've got things that we need to work on. We're going to work on them, and the results will come. Stay patient, but stay hungry. For Bethany, Chuck Shoemaker is the head coach in his 3rd season for the Bison, who are up there near the Wheeling, West Virginia area. West Virginia and that little sliver between Pennsylvania and Ohio. So glad Bethany could make the trip down here for a couple good games today against ODAC competition. Believe they're still looking for their first ever win against an ODAC school. And if you're Lynchburg, you don't want that to be you. You don't want to be the victim that is the asterisk there in the record book to say the first ODAC school we beat was Lynchburg. So the Hornets will be switched on and ready to go. Looks like a similar lineup for Lynchburg. We'll try to identify who is out there. Miller Varley, number 9, will be in the front row as the setter. Stefan Kapitanov is there as well. We've got Nick Redding, number 18. In the back, Mason Kenna. Here comes your libero, Braden Berardo, checking in there. And then also it will be, yeah, there's Miller Varley, number 9. A little wave to the camera. I don't think he's waving at us, but it kind of worked out there as you see the 7 assists per set for Mr. Varley dealing the cards. Bethany's changes will happen now as well as their libero gets on court. That should be Cole Thomas again. He's one of the few West Virginia natives on this team, Linside, West Virginia, which is actually going to be closer to Lynchburg than Bethany College is. Linside is just over the border from Virginia there in the that Giles County area. So here we go. Ball's in the air. Let's play some more Division III volleyball on LHSN. Good job by Varley to run it down, and a strong swing from the back row. Nick Redding picking up right where he left off. the lefty will strike early, and it's a Lynchburg lead.
Yeah, they were looking at him a ton in game 1 of the day, and we expect to see the exact same thing, really, in game 3.
Yeah, Nick Redding so good from all areas. But he can come from that back row, and how about this man that was impressive in game number 1, Riley Burdett. I called him the premier scoring option. Saw why right there. Live right arm, jumps well. He's a good server too. We'll get to find out right now. 1-1. Bison and Hornets, yeah, too strong from Riley Burdett rather. Keep an eye on that serving, Evan. I know we always do. Ethan, sorry, did it again. There's one. Keep track of that. We'll keep track of the service errors and then also the rafter balls. Those are the two things that we were talking about a lot in match number 1 as Jeremiah Costello will deal an ace off the top of the deck.
Yeah, really serving errors are going to be what the difference maker is between the two teams. We know Lynchburg has been struggling with that all season, and we know the Bisons really struggled with that against Roanoke. So they're going to be really key to be better in that stat column.
That one off the tape there for Costello. Good read on a ball that was basically head height for him. You saw him make a move to it, and then a little adjustment there to let it just whiz by. A little Matrix-style dodge there for Jeremiah Costello. And he'll remain at the service line. 4-1. Costello, first-year man, 6'3", out of Chesterfield, Virginia. There's net contact by Bethany. And unfortunately, that was the theme for the Bison in the match that we saw against Roanoke. Too many of those with the illegal net touch there on the block. Just got to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, a little bit of some discipline problems right underneath the net. You see Costello, I mean, we've seen some strong serves from him today. He, like you said earlier, he doesn't back down. Costello
will dig that one. High ball bump set from Mason Kenna was pretty good. Play on. First longish rally of this matchup. Lynchburg leads by 4. Costello will send the free ball over. Tap with one hand. Play on again. Here comes a tip. And there's net contact again. This time it was Lynchburg that got into the twine as they were scrambling around. Hard fought point there for Bethany.
That kind of a tough play on Kenna. We know that one was going towards the Bethany side, but you're really not sure if that's going to touch the net, go over, or stay on your side. So it looked like Kenna tried to get a set there.
Kapitanov, wow, he'll just rip that one down and in. Lynchburg, 6-2.
Kapitanov, we said in game 1, but the multi-sport athlete shows a lot of athleticism. He's got a lot of different plays in his arsenal that he can go to.
I love this guy, and he's serving more. We saw this. He did not serve much, only had one ace coming into this match, but had a couple against Roanoke there. And I did talk to him about the last name in between matches, as that one was wide past the antenna into the officials' stanchion there. But he said, yeah, you know, it's cool. It's a weird last name. I said, just say it to me 5 times in a row. That's how I need to lock it in, and he did, and it helped. And now he's on the bench, so we have to talk about some other guys. There's Braden Berardo, the libero, in there with a nice dig. Jeremiah Costello, kind of a freelance play there, but he made it work. Got some contact with an arm on the way by. Lynchburg leading 7-3.
Yeah, it looked like McKay Guinez got a little bit of a touch on that. Almost got that block. Would have been a really nice play, but block goes awry and point Lynchburg.
Nice dig from Riley Burdett. He does a little bit of everything. That one's wide right on the swing from number 12, Guinez. And Lynchburg on top by 5. This, for Bethany, this is that danger area, because this is what happened in sets 1 and 3 against Roanoke. Set 2 for Bethany against Roanoke, much more competitive. They were in that all the way to the finish. Can't let Lynchburg get on these very long runs. There's one that is hard but wide. Guinez again got a handful but couldn't get it on court. And now Lynchburg on top by 6. Could be a timeout coming from Coach Shoemaker. He's just sort of wandering close to the court, not gonna use a breather.
Well, that's a really good example of having a ton of power on that shot, but you need it, even the slightest bit of placement.
Yeah, Nick Redding went for the jackpot there on that serve and just missed. Will be number 15, Tyler Johnson, to the service line for Bethany. Short toss, soft serve. Let's see where Lynchburg goes. Mason Kenna got blocked, play on. Ooh, how about Riley Burdett took a whack at it on 2, and that was long. Another dodge from Jeremiah Costello, one that was just headed right at his face there, and he got it out of the way in time.
See a little bit of the matrix there from Costello. Really good job getting out of the way. It looked like he was moving in slow motion.
Lynchburg by 6, 10-4. Here's Burdett, handled. See where the Hornets want to go. Jeremiah Costello, he got some fingertips on that one. High heat coming there for Costello, and Lynchburg on top 11-4.
There's so much confidence in this team right now. It looks like nothing's really going to stop them. They have a really good run going on right now.
The officials will stop things for a shoe tying timeout. Yeah, the gym, it just got turned into a library there. It's completely silent. This is Mason Kenna to serve. 6'2" man from Charlotte, North Carolina. He'll drop that one into the middle of the court. Ganez blocked and roofed. How about Bryce Jackson and Jeremiah Costello putting the wall on it here on the near side pin. Lynchburg blocked well for most of the matchup against Roanoke, the exception being set 4. Our live stat numbers got erased, so we don't exactly remember what the numbers were, but I remember in set 4, Lynchburg had no blocks and Roanoke had 3, and that was a reversal of really the first 3 sets.
Yeah, a lot of height and a lot of athleticism in this front line for Lynchburg, so that does give them a little bit of an advantage up in front of the net.
13-4, Lynchburg by 9. Oh, drop in shot right there from Riley Burdett. Very nice. He gets 2.19 kills per set. He's got that shot in his bag. Saw the double block in front of him. And just a little excuse me, tap it right over for a much needed point for the Bison.
And really nice high IQ play there, knowing where the ins and outs are on that defense.
Ganez, the man from Santa Maria, California, to serve. Bryce Jackson's going to get a point. A bit of a deflection there off of Alexander Hall, who was moving to it. Oh, pardon me, that was, I believe it was Alexander Hall that served it. I think I had it wrong. I think that was Alexander Hall serving. And he's a Virginia guy. Fairfax Station. Here comes Bryce Jackson to serve for Lynchburg, who leads by 9 again. Pretty comfortable right now. It's set 1. Hornets before that Roanoke game, my goodness, that was blistering. What a play there by the libero, Cole Thomas, just to get to that. It'll end up being a Lynchburg point. That was a fastball from Bryce Jackson.
Yeah, really nice serve, and that one just went into the rafters, so a little unfortunate series of events there for the Bison.
Strong serve kind of caught me off guard. I was going to say Lynchburg before the Roanoke game had won 4 out of 5. The other one from Bryce Jackson. I mean, that's high octane right there. It'll lead to a point. He's letting it rip back there. Outstanding stuff from Bryce Jackson.
We talk about confidence in really any play, but when you're at the serving line and you're that confident when it's working, I mean, you can really do whatever you want back there. You can put as much power of it as you want.
I'll give you a fun stat here. Lynchburg's actually won the first set in their last 6 straight matches, Mr. Maratsky. But if you remember, they beat Randolph at home. There's a timeout. I'll just continue the thought. They beat Randolph at home in the first set and then lost the next 3. Same thing happened earlier today with Roanoke. So there's a pro and a con there. I mean, the pro side to that is Lynchburg's winning the first set. They're coming out strong. Just have to sustain it. Those last 2 losses against Randolph and Roanoke, they won the first set and then dropped the next 3 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, winning that first set is so crucial really in any game because it just sets the tone for the rest of it. But Roanoke and teams in the past that have beaten Lynchburg going more than 3 sets, they've just done a really good job coming back and fighting. I mean, that determination and grit, it's not easy to have in a game like this. But this young squad, this young Lynchburg squad, a ton of first years and a couple upperclassmen, those are really the games that obviously you want to win, but you learn from those games. You know what your problems are, and that's what your coaching staff is also there for. And Coach Cardozo and Coach Ryan Turner, they've done a great job helping this team strive so far. Obviously, they're 8-9 in the season, looking for a 9-9, so they're pretty on. They're on like the midway point of this standings. They've won a bunch of games. So for a first-year program, this isn't a bad season, but obviously there are some more things that you can dust off some of the cobwebs or figure out ways that you can get this team to gel as the games and sets go on.
16-5, Lynchburg by 11. Overpass kind of an overset almost. Play on, though. One-handed runner. And here comes our first longer rally, I guess. Jeremiah Costello going to try to put an end to it. Can't. Yes, he will. Got the overpass there that would not stay on court. Nice effort by the hustling Ryland Trapp. But that's a point for Lynchburg and another termination for Jeremiah Costello.
I tell you what, we've seen that a couple times where the players run under the net to try and keep that ball alive. Like you said, that's really great hustle, and you don't see it too often.
Yeah, and it's legal to run in under it there. Here's another overpass. Costello got a right hand on that. Good placement on the put down that time. Number 8, Logan Mills, I think, with the point there. Yeah, you could run under the net. You would just have to then pass it back to your side.
Yeah, onto the other side.
Yeah, without going over the antenna. But you know, again, it's the fight, it's the spirit, it's the hustle. You gotta love it.
Well, it's these things that obviously don't happen too often, but when they do happen, it's really great. Like we saw in that last game, we saw a kick save and a beauty from that Roanoke team. So these are things that obviously don't happen too much, but when you see them, they open, your eyes widen and your jaw drops. So it's really cool to see some of these plays.
Miller Varley, setter serving. Got that one over. That one is into the net from Ryland Trapp. Defense looked to be pretty good up front for Lynchburg. They've got Jordan Philomaui in the game there up front. First year from Washington. He did go to Virginia Wesleyan, but Philomaui now here at Lynchburg. And found out the fun fact that his sister is an absolute stud at Florida State on the volleyball court. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Family affair, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are really, obviously with siblings playing at different schools is really cool. I remember my freshman year, my older brother played at Randolph-Macon, and we both played baseball. We actually, because he had that extra COVID year, we actually got to play with each other going into that season, and then we got to play against each other right down there at Fox Field. So it was a ton of fun. I mean, situations like that, those are what you dream of. And when you have siblings that play the same sport as you and knowing that you can talk to them and go to them for anything, those are special bonds that you have.
Noah Wolf is in the game setting for Lynchburg. Got Matthew Esqueda there, who sent that one high and wide for a Bison point. So yeah, you got some new faces for Lynchburg. Nick Redding's still out there. And Noah Wolf has done quite a bit of setting this year. Pardon me, there's Wolf. Wants to go to Redding. Redding tried to hit that one the back of the hand and couldn't quite get it on the flyby. As the Bison starting a little mini rally here with Riley Burdette at the service line. It's 19-9. Lynchburg still comfortably up 10 points. That one well wide into the Lynchburg bench. So more changes coming up. Jared Berggren out for Lynchburg. And it's Matthew Esqueda to serve. First-year man from Magnolia, North Carolina. That is a fantastic serve. And into the rafters for an ace. Look at the celebration from the Lynchburg crowd. I mean, they're into this one. They are into this one.
A lot of energy just from one player. I mean, we talk about how we're on spring break here at Lynchburg, so not as many people here in the stands. You got to make your own energy, and that's the perfect way to do it right there.
It should be Esqueda's third ace of the season. Man, that is blistering. He's going for the gusto there. The big handful, just barely long, 21-10. Lynchburg by 11.
Not afraid to put velocity on that swing.
Yeah, I like it there. Wide right on that serve from the Bison's perspective as Ryland Trapp couldn't land it. 22-10. Serving now, Jordan Philomaui. Wonder how much serving he's done in the backyard or in the driveway with his sister. You have to imagine those two have passed that volleyball around quite a bit. He will land that one on the back line. Bullseye for Philomaui. Ace there. And that is ace number 4 of the season for Jordan Philomaui. This should be set number 17 he's played in.
Just a beautiful serve, beautiful front Looked like they had that top spin and just found that corner.
Another strong one. Picked up, though, by Bethany. Philomaui will take the first contact. Let's see where Wolf goes. Near pin left, and we play on. Burdette wants one. That missed the court. Good watchful eye there by Philomaui to make sure that one didn't land in bounds.
This Lynchburg team doing a fantastic job snuffing any sort of fight that the Bisons could have.
This is Philomaui serving now. I had it wrong, Ski. That was Jared Berggren on the previous serve. Okay, well, Philomaui's got a rocket too, so that makes sense. Little miscommunication there as it looked like maybe Alexander Hall had a chance to pick it up. That is the first set, and a great one for Lynchburg. They roll 25-10, Hornets on top. After one, we're back in 90 seconds or so on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Tim Slusser from the Outdoor Leadership Program gave a presentation at a Teaching and Learning Resources Conference here about getting his program more involved on the academic side of campus. I mentioned computers and mapping, and he mentioned caving, and eventually we came up with the idea of mapping caves.
So the week before we were able to learn how to use the instruments kind of like on a flat surface and just kind of get a hang of how they work. But it was really amazing how once we got in the cave, it was a completely different experience using them.
It was unique. It got most of us out of our comfort zone, kind of gave us a new experience, a new taste of something new. But I think the most difficult parts were getting the lighting right. You had to read the instruments with the headlamps while keeping your eye pointed on the plot point.
This allowed them to actually literally get their hands dirty, collecting data, conducting measurements, and putting all that together in the form of a map, and doing it in a place that's never been mapped before.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Welcome back, volleyball lovers. Set two getting ready to begin. Lynchburg rolls in the first frame, 25-10. And we were trying to figure out who got all the aces. This is why it was tough and why we got confused. Lynchburg had 7 as you get another look there at Ryan Turner. Fantastic. You talk about hair. What a fantastic head of hair Ryan Turner has. But Lynchburg had 7 aces. So officially, this is what it looks like. Esqueda's got 1, Costello 1, Mason Kenna 1, Jordan Philomaui 2, and Bryce Jackson 2. So I think the aces were happening so frequently. That's why I got confused there, Ski, as far as who was doing all the damage at the line for Lynchburg. It was a lot of people.
Yeah, it was almost a flipped script for the Hornets at the serving line. Typically, they've been having trouble all season, really. Going back to that Roanoke game and even games prior to that, they have been struggling, but it's been a flipped script. There have been a ton of aces for the Hornets, so I don't blame you for getting mixed up. I mean, there were so many different players that were getting aces, and it was a super fun first set to watch.
Sure was. Lynchburg wins at 25-10. Jeremiah Costello led the way with 3 terminations on 3 attacks. For Bethany, Riley Burdett, he had 2 kills. No aces right now for Bethany. So Lynchburg really is doing a lot of damage at the service line. That's been a separator so far in this one. Got our guy Xavier Cole back in. There's a foot from Lynchburg that they thought maybe Mason Kenna kept that alive. At least Mason Kenna did. But the officials will give the point to the Bison.
That would have been pretty amazing if we saw 2 of those in one day.
It's going to happen at some point. You just got to continue to watch more volleyball. Helps when you have 3 matches in a day too, doesn't it? Rather than just one. But we will be, on that note, back on the air this Wednesday night as Randolph-Macon comes calling. Lynchburg will host that game right here inside Turner. It's actually a nice little run of home games, a home stand for Lynchburg. Then we're here 1 week from today as Lynchburg will host EMU at 3 p.m. next Saturday. So you got some chances to see these Hornets, and you got some chances to watch them on LHSN as well. We're looking forward to it as Costello hits the mesh and the Bison lead again 2-1. Here's our guy Xavier Cole. He impressed in the match against Roanoke. Serves, sets, blocks, swings, everything. And speaking of blocking, that wasn't Cole. That was number 2, Alexander Hall, strutting his stuff as he denies access to the Lynchburg offense.
Yeah, Xavier Cole, I mean, we brought up his name a ton in that Roanoke-Bethany game. He's just a really fun player to watch. Again, like you said, he just does it all for this team.
It was a set that was tight to the net. No problem for Nick Redding, though, as he gets the mitts on it. Bryce Jackson back in the ball game. Berardo out. 3-2. Bison on top by 1. Stefan Kapitanov. I think that's pretty close there. Steph, like I said, was a very good sport about it. He said, pronounce it however you want. I don't care. That was nice. Less pressure on me. How about the tall wall there on the right side? Nick Redding, Bryce Jackson, duo stuff for Lynchburg, and we're tied.
A really nice job from the front line underneath the net. We talk about it all game. They do a great job getting up there with that height and athleticism.
Second point blocking of this match for Lynchburg. Nice job right there to fend that one off on the dig by Varley. Push shot. Costello can't get down to it. Point for the Bison, who lead by 1 again. Shaping up a lot like Bethany's game against Roanoke. They got blown out in set 1, but set 2 much more competitive. Almost seems like the same flavor here. Yeah,
we're seeing some fight. We're going to have to see if Lynchburg can make an adjustment here, because we know that the Bisons, as of right now, have.
Costello from the back row. That will carom off Alexander Hall, and uncontrollable. Costello with another kill. Tie ball game, 4-4. Lynchburg on the left side of your screen in the red and black. Bethany wears the green and black.
We've seen a lot of plays in all 3 games today, heading up into that rafters, into the roof.
We got to get a roof tracker Wednesday. we need to think about that. Good scramble there and a dive, but spatula not available for Riley Burdett. Lynchburg will celebrate another one. Hornets have the lead.
Really nice job by Berardo. Like you said, a dive and a save there. Just finds some open space. A lot of energy coming off of that play too for the Hornets.
Noticeably more energy than against Roanoke, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that has something to do with you want that win so badly. You don't want to come out of a 2-game set for this Lynchburg team with 2 losses. So this win has a little bit more pressure. Or I wouldn't really call it pressure, but there's more at stake for this Lynchburg team. You don't want to come out of a 2-game set with 2 losses, but you also want to go into that Randolph-Macon matchup coming off of a win too.
Bryce Jackson with another rejection. There's a strong swing, but too much from Nick Redding. And the Bison are within 1, 6-5. Kyle Haney, Ethan Morotsky, spending some time with you on this Saturday. It's a time change weekend. It's International Women's Day. I think there's a few other things going on this weekend, but a lot of sports. And it's a lot of fun. Nick Redding, another big swipe. The sizzler would not land, though, and we're tied up 6 apiece between Bison and Hornets. Good first pass from Costello. They'll go right side. Mason Kenna hanging high. Good placement on the changeup, and Lynchburg leads again.
Yeah, Set was a little behind Kenna, but a good job poking that one over into some space where there were no Bison. It just looked like maybe some communication or positioning errors for Bethany.
Mason Kenna on the serve. Pretty good placement there. Bethany will get in system, and Ryland Trapp took a rip and got a fingertip. Xavier Cole back in. Could you see how he jumped onto the court there?
A lot of energy from him.
A lot of fun. And some guys just endear themselves to you, you know, whether it's something like that or something else, you know. It could be anything, but you just gravitate to certain players.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what we've done with Xavier Cole. Not just this match, but the match against Roanoke. He's just been a fun player to watch. I mean, he's got so much energy no matter what the score is, and those are the best players on your team. Those are ones that everybody's going to be friends with, and I mean, they're just the best.
Isaiah Haverling was in to serve, missed it, and then immediately came off for the substitute. Here's Bryce Jackson at the line for Lynchburg, 8-7. Saw some great serves from Bryce Jackson in the game against Roanoke. That one too strong. Loves that high toss with a lot of backspin. It's actually top spin, heavy top spin, putting that hand underneath the ball with the flip. And you and I noticed, you know, so many Lynchburg players using a little bit of side spin on that high toss as well. We're tied up again, 8-8. We've been saying that a lot. Costello over dig. 2 contacts there. Bethany was smart to go over, noticing that. Good set, and here we go. Stefan Kapitanov letting it fly, taking a slash from straight away. Lynchburg leads again.
Really great set there from Varley, and an even better swing by Kapitanov. I mean, that's like 1, 2, 3 magic right there.
That's exactly what you're looking for. Pass, set, swing, and put it away. Varley's going to go to Costello. He had to kind of punch it, that one. And this will be a Lynchburg point. Bison got into the net again, or maybe the antenna over there on the far side. Referee kind of pointed up at it. Though it doesn't look like Chuck Shoemaker's in love with the call. The Bison head coach talking it over, hands in pockets. Now they'll come out and he'll gesture at the arm. It's a real ongoing dialogue there between the coach and the official. And Miller Varley waiting patiently to serve. He'll get the okay from the referee on the stand. Wonder if the delay caused that service error there, Ski.
Yeah, possibly. We talk about how timeouts really ice the other players, kind of slow the game down, and that long conversation, and obviously with not a lot of people here in the in Turner Gymnasium, you have a lot of silence, you got a lot of time to think.
I do so much of it myself, even though it doesn't sound like it on the broadcast. Good block there by Bethany. Lynchburg's going to rebuild. Let's see where they go. My goodness. Big banger right there from Nick Redding. That was off the top rope for the put down, and Lynchburg leads by 2.
Yeah, great job from really everybody on that Hornet side. Varley, 2 nice sets, a nice block or dig from the Bisons that went right back to that Hornet side, and another great set from Varley setting up Redding.
Costello to serve. Another one into the barrier for a Bison point. Lynchburg serving now in the match. Remember, they won set number 1, 25-10. 8 aces total in the match now, and 8 service errors. So they got the 1-to-1 ratio going on right now. Xavier Cole will send one over the net with the right hand. Big swipe from Mason Kenna. Play on. That was Riley Burdett. They will get the point down for the Bethany Bison. Here we go, tied again. You could record us saying that and play it over and over here in set 2. Tied up at 11 apiece.
Well, like we talked about earlier, this is pretty much what happened during the Roanoke match with Bethany. Is it was a blowout in that first set, and it's completely different here in set number 2.
It really is. Xavier Cole's going to keep it going. Tough serve. Braden Berardo kind of wanted in that in-between zone there. On a ball that was head high. Doesn't know whether to use the setter style there with the hand pass or go with the traditional platform. That time he will go with the platform dig, and Steph takes it away. We're knotted up again. A dozen apiece for Lynchburg and Bethany in set 2.
Kapitanov having a great game so far, trying to take control and get Lynchburg some momentum to where they can go on a run and extend a lead over the Bison.
Kapitanov to serve. Oh, close, but no cigar. Too strong there. Bison on top, 13-12. In the back row to receive this for Lynchburg, Mason Ketta, Jeremiah Costello, and Braden Berardo. Toss from Alexander Hall, who seems to be playing more in this match. Good solo block up front to reject Bryce Jackson. Mason Kenna, yeah, referees didn't like the contact. Looked like he kind of lifted and threw it over. And now it's a 2-point advantage for Bethany. Ryan Turner, he'll get some information from the official about the last call.
I really want to go back to that solo block. I mean, that was a perfect setup by Varley and then a powerful swing. So really good job keeping that one alive for Bethany.
It sure was. I think it was Ryland Trapp up front with the block there. Berardo's going to run it down. Kenna will send it over. Excuse me. Slide play for Trapp. Didn't get the handful, but got it across. Nice set from Berardo. Kenna with a swipe. Good volleyball here. Burdette, back row. Placement was not there, and Lynchburg will take a critical point. Back within one. 14-13, Bethany on top of Lynchburg.
Really good rally from both teams. Really good job by Berardo, not only setting that play, but going back into the rear end of the court, keeping that alive for the Hornets.
Yeah, Berardo's up around 30 sets on the season, and a lot of times that libero will become a de facto second setter. That got a piece of Burdette. Giving Nick Redding another one, a sizzler. And Burdette caught in between whether to let it go or try to dig it out. Tied up again.
Yeah, I think that might have gone past the line, but that's a real tough one. It's a strong hit by Redding, so you never really, it's kind of that instinct play that you're going to have to make.
Yeah, always a tough call. Split-second decision. I think you'd rather have your guys try to dig more. You want that mentality of, I'm going to defend everything, but don't always make the right decision. Costello over his head. Varley will set Mason Kenna, and bang, one more. Mason Kenna, the junior from North Carolina. He's a junior on this team. Can you believe it? He's like the old man. I wonder if they give him a hard time about being a third year on this squad.
Really great job all around, and Varley having a fantastic job at the setting position.
15-15, tied again. I said just put it on a tape and play it over and over. Nick Redding tried to find a lane there, and that is long. Bison lead again. If the Bison can get a set here, I mean, how much confidence does that give them, partner?
It gives them a ton of confidence after losing to Roanoke 3-0, and coming into this game, you know you had some fight against the Maroons. So going into a Hornets matchup who just lost to the Maroons also, you really feel like you're on equal ground, to be honest. And so again, if you can get this set and pull it out, that's a ton of confidence going into this next matchup.
Bryce Jackson to serve. He just went in the tool bag and pulled out the hammer one more time. We're tied one more time, 16 apiece. Costello, one-hander. Varley runs it down. How about Redding from the back row? High aerial on that. Play on. Let's see where Lynchburg goes this time. Costello gonna set Redding. Wants another. Got another. Some shrapnel on that one. Redding that time hit everything but the lottery. Great play, and Lynchburg leads again.
Yeah, another great rally from both these teams. This second set has been full of them so far.
Fun to watch. Just like Bethany's game against Roanoke. Second set was very aesthetically pleasing, very close. Free ball for Lynchburg. Where does Varley go this time? Jeremiah Costello got stunted on the block. There's our man Xavier Cole blocking. How about the roof? Lakeside Drive Roofing Company. Steph Kapitanov and Miller Varley putting the top on it for Lynchburg. Hornets by 2.
Really great job, really great block, and it was lucky enough to find that back corner of Bethany's court.
Xavier Cole on the slide play. Lynchburg's going to try again. Success. Mason Kenna Back row middle, no problem right there as he mashed that one through the block. Hornets by 3.
See Hornets go on a little bit of run. They're going to try and extend this lead and not let Bethany back in this one.
Yeah, got to put your foot on it right there. Fantastic setter dump from Logan Mills, first-year man from Ontario, Canada. He brought some of the maple syrup over and just tapped it. Man, that was fantastic. And right on time, too, you know, because you and I, we see those setter attacks, those setter dumps, and it always comes late in a set, I think, when the defense has kind of forgotten about it. Very well placed. See if he tries again. No, he'll set the key option there, Riley Burdette, and just like that, the Bethany, oh no. Yes, the point for the Bison. I'm sorry. Got distracted there. Thought maybe the call went against Bethany there. It was Riley Burdette with another termination to get his squad within 1. Fantastic serve, and guess what? We are tied now. Logan Mills setting, scoring, and now serving with a fastball that just trickled over.
Well, we talked about the Hornets going on a little bit of a run as a timeout's call, but now it's Bethany.
Yeah, we'll stay here as this run is something to behold here. What a fight back. Bethany has tied it up 19-19. The setter, Logan Mills, with a crafty dump, had us talking about maple syrup, and then he just uncorked it from the service line. It's a Bethany team. They have only won 1 ball game. You watch them play, and that kind of boggles the mind, doesn't it? Bethany's 1-12 this year. They beat Gallaudet. They're 0-6 in the PAC. They are 0-7 now away from home. They're getting something figured out here in set number 2 against Lynchburg.
Yeah, close set number 2, similar to set number 2 against Roanoke. So there is some fight within this team. We're seeing some sparks within some of the players and some of the duos up front. Seeing some nice blocking and maybe see some role players stepping up in this one, and that's really what's so important when obviously you've got your best players on your team that you always want to do well, but if that player's having an off day, those other players, those role players, they step up. And that's really why this Bethany team is doing so well in set 2. They've had pretty much everybody included in this set.
That's the epitome of that team concept right there. Mills has 6 assists, 1 ace, 1 kill. He's on the service line right now with the ball game tied 19-19. We're in set 2. Lynchburg did take set number 1 pretty convincingly, 25-10, and just like that, another ace. Bethany is on top by 1, 20-19.
Really great job. Unfortunately, that dig attempt does go into the chairs, and that's always a rough spot for the ball to go into because you want to make that play, but you don't want to get injured on those chairs.
Mills missed the strike zone that time with the fastball, and we are knotted up again. Stalemate, 20 apiece. It'll be the Lynchburg setter, Miller Varley, back at the line. Varley's 6'4" himself. I mean, he's not a small guy at all. How about Xavier Cole letting it fly from straight away? 21-20, Bison by 1.
Fun player to watch, and that's exactly why he's our player to watch for the Bison.
Riley Burdette serving for the visitors from Bethany, West Virginia. Varley, Kapitanov, scramble for it, play on, got a piece of the block. Bethany point. Alexander Hall, first-year man, 6'3", from Fairfax Station, Virginia. More activity in this match and seems to be playing well. Should be termination number 2 for Alexander Hall. Bethany by 2. Varley went to Nick Redding. He landed that one. Yeah, Redding with another cranker. Hornets needed it. Got to be sharp from here on out.
A really nice swing from Jackson. Finds that back line.
Costello to serve. Overpass. Mason Kenna made him pay, and we're tied up. Read that perfectly as it floated across.
Really good recognition, knowing that was coming back and knowing that you really have the Bison on their back foot.
So much so that Bethany wants to take time. We'll break this one for 30 or 60 seconds. Tie ball game in set 2, 22-22 between Bethany and Lynchburg. Set 2 action between Lynchburg and Bethany. You see it, we're all tied up at 2. Deuces are wild here in the second set. It's Jeremiah Costello to serve. Too strong, and Bethany leads again. Kyle Haney and Ethan Moratsky under the headset with you. And this is a Bison squad that is not going away quietly after losing set 1 to Lynchburg. Swept by Roanoke in their first match today. This man, Xavier Cole, he's a spark. He's the straw that stirs the drink for the Bison. And there's no stirring that. That's straight no chaser right there from Nick Redding. He takes another blast and another time that we get to say we are tied up.
Yeah, really nice job from that entire Lynchburg defense. A good set from Varley. A little bit behind Redding, but Redding did a great job staying on top of it and getting a nice job.
Bryce Jackson back in the middle. And that one is down for Ryland Trapp. Found some space. Here comes Braden Berardo. The libero checks back in for Lynchburg. Set point here for Bethany. 24-23. Alexander Hall into the barrier. You saw the body language there. He was frustrated. We're tied up. We need extras. 24-24.
Get some free volleyball here. Got to win by 2.
Lynchburg has not had many extra point situations this year. Got to scan the stats again, figure out just how many. Hornets, the block got a piece of a Bethany player there as it went by. Bryce Jackson, Miller Varley. Lynchburg's got the set point now, 25-24. Here comes another timeout from the Bison. Let's stay right here because we just took the break. Kyle Haney, Ethan Moratsky, volleyball fans everywhere, hopefully tuning in on this Saturday. Game 3 of the triple play day. This has been our most exciting set of the entire day. And I don't think I'm out of line to say that.
No, definitely not. I think we're both enjoying this one. I think both the teams on the court are enjoying it too. We talk about the energy that every single volleyball team has, whether it's men's, women's, or beach. Whether you're winning or losing, there's always that energy that you're going to bring to the table, and that's why this set, it makes this set so much more fun because you're getting it from both sides.
I've got Lynchburg, this is unofficial, but I've got Lynchburg being 1-1 in extra point situations. They lost to Marymount 26-24 and beat Newman 26-24. So none of those really marathon sets that go over 30 points. Our Lynchburg women's team had a couple of those this year. But Lynchburg 1-1 in the extra point setups, the extra innings here. And they lead by 1 right now, 25-24. It's Nick Redding at the service line for the home team Hornets to try to put away set 2. Lynchburg on top, 1-0 right now. It's in play. Let's see where Bethany goes. Blocked up front. Bryce Jackson return to sender, and Lynchburg will win it there. 26-24. Lynchburg on top, 2-0. They go looking for the sweep when we come back on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
When creating a sustainable future, your choices matter, even your choice of a college. The University of Lynchburg is the first college in Virginia to go carbon neutral. Our dining hall is Green Restaurant certified. We compost all of our food waste and purchase our electricity from landfill gas. Now we're turning a hazardous lake into a thriving urban wetland. When you choose Lynchburg, you leave a smaller footprint while building a better tomorrow.
Lynchburg took set one over Bethany 25-10. The flavor was completely different in set two, but the Hornets pull it out 26-24. Your screen there actually should be Lynchburg 2, Bethany none. Lynchburg on top 2-0. But that's easily fixed, Ethan Maratsky. And as you know from working that side of things, sometimes you press a button and it does the wrong thing. It gives it to the other team. It's not even your fault, you know. You put in the right thing.
Yeah, well, with directing, there's so many buttons that you can press, and the same thing
Look
with
at that. Look how
graphics.
quick. Look how quick that got changed.
Yeah, we're good. 2 sets, University of Lynchburg, 0 Bethany. But you know, there's a ton of buttons over there. But that's what also makes it so cool, is there's so many different things you can do.
Sure, yeah. Big shout out to our guy Jonathan Faust, who's been working hard all day. He's a dunk champion in my heart. Inside joke there. But Jonathan Faust, really one that we have relied on for the last couple years here on LHSN. He's incredible. Lynchburg will start off the third set on the good foot with a 1-0 advantage. Hornets back in action Wednesday. You and I were running over the schedule, hosting Randolph-Macon Wednesday, and then Saturday against EMU. So it's a true home stand for Lynchburg, as they're going to get another point on the serve. Mason Kenna with another ace for the Hornets. They lead 2-0.
Yeah, not going to be easy matchups. There really are no entirely easy matchups in any sport when it comes down to ODAC play. It's always going to be competitive, and especially going up against Randolph-Macon. It's going to be a tough matchup for them, but as of right now, they're doing pretty well against Bethany, up 3-0 right now.
Did you see that block? Kapitanov and I believe it was Jeremiah Costello. Access completely denied, rejected, stuffed, sent back. 3-0. Lynchburg leads. Might be 4. Coaches and players had to scramble out of the way on the Bethany bench. Kept it alive, though. Costello, rise and fire. And this one is down for another Lynchburg point.
No, I love the way that Costello plays. He's not afraid of the net, whether he's at the service line or he's right up front. He's not afraid of anything, and he puts so much power onto that ball.
Well, that's a fantastic point by you. Berardo got a piece of that. Excellent work right there. Costello with a free ball that hit the speaker in the rafters up there and then went out. If it hits the ceiling, roof, rafters on your side, you're okay to play it. But if it's on the third one or the touch that sends it over, then that's a no-go. Doesn't even have to be on the third contact, actually, as Riley Burdett floats a serve long. I want to go back to that point about Costello that you made. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, he doesn't worry about mistakes, does he? He plays his game and plays pretty much close to a 10 all the time. I mean, he's fifth gear pretty much with everything.
Yeah, and I really like that because that's all about aggressiveness. And if you're not afraid of the net, you really got everything working for you at that point.
Lynchburg on the rebuild. A touch shot from Mason Kenna was wide. And that'll be a point for the Bethany Bison, who are down 2-0. We have seen how capable they are. Yeah, and just bringing it to a conclusion there, I just think he doesn't fear failure. He knows, yeah, I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm going to have some bad serves. I'm going to have some that might even, look awful at times, but I know what I'm capable of. I back myself to bring that. I know my best is really good, so I'm just going to try to get to that every time rather than playing defensively or scared. And I think so many of the best athletes have that quality. I think we've said that about the man serving there for Bethany, Xavier Cole. He seems like he's not worried about the mistakes, and unfortunately for him, right on cue, he makes one with a little double hit there. Wasn't sound on the contact, and Lynchburg leads by 3.
Well, the best thing about really every team is that, yeah, Cole made that mistake, but he's all smiles, he's all laughs on the sideline, and those are, again, we talked about it earlier about Xavier Cole. Those are your best players on your team because everybody loves to be around that guy. Everybody loves to play around a player like that.
That serve got boomeranged around in the wrong direction for Bethany. And Lynchburg will take a 4-point advantage. 7-3 Hornets. Stefan Kapitanov to send it over. Floats that one in. Good dive to keep it off the hardwood. Lynchburg blocking again. Did they get it there? It's going to be a Bethany point. That one just would not stay between the boundaries for Lynchburg.
Yeah, Hornets trying to say that did hit Hall's shoulder, but it's tough to see. It's a tough call to make, and I think that is the right one.
Berardo went sliding to his right. I think he thought that was an out ball. It was in. It's an ace for Alexander Hall. First-year man from Fairfax Station, Virginia. He'll hop into another one. Varley's going to have to run that down to set it. Redding from the back row got rejected. And here we go. The Bethany Bison are getting traction again and could tie on this play.
Yeah, a lot of fight. Really good block there for the Bison.
Hall served that one with the extra ball kind of rolling in his direction. Mason Kenna couldn't get the height on that swing, and we are tied. Said that a bunch of times in set number 2. And we're saying it right now. 7-7 in set 3. Bison trail 2-0. Mason Kenna will take the first and third. Net joust. Lynchburg will win it. Slapped down by Kenna. He did a lot of the heavy lifting on that one. Nick Redding to serve. The first-year man from San Diego, California. We got to get some surfing lessons from Nick Redding. That's probably unfair to assume that he's a surfer, though, just because he's from San Diego, California. We need some volleyball lessons from him is what we really need. We know he does that well. Costello, back row. Did he catch a piece? Yes, he did. On the line, and it's in, and Lynchburg on top by 2.
A lot of talent, and there it is. He's not afraid of anything, like we were just talking about. And those are really some of the best players on your team. And if you've got the amount of talent that he has, it just makes him that much better of a volleyball player.
Yeah, you combine the talent with the hard work, the confidence. That's an almost unbeatable combination there. Wyatt Nunez is in the game for Lynchburg. Saw him briefly in set 1. I believe Wyatt is a first-year man, also from California, Lathrop, California. Now we got to look that up and see where that is. Are the fans listening in Lathrop? How about that one? Bryce Jackson climbing the ladder to send it straight down. Bryce Jackson, conference leader in hitting percentage with plays like that. Undefendable when he gets his perfect takeoff.
You know, I love to see the communication that this Lynchburg team has after every single point, whether it's the back line talking to each other with Berardo and Nunez, or if it's the front line with Costello and Bryce Jackson and Nick Redding.
Okay, Lathrop, California is Northern California. Looks like it's in the Stockton area, also kind of in between Stockton and San Jose. So there you go. There's your geography lesson for the day. If you're ever out in California again, Mr. Ethan Morotsky, the national champ Ethan Morotsky, was out there last year for baseball. There's Rylan Trapp. He's an Illinois guy, and he found the net on that serve attempt. Lynchburg back on top by 2.
These serving errors, Lynchburg, this is a perfect time for them to go on a run here and extend this lead to try and snuff out any bit of fight that the Bison have.
Bryce Jackson, conservative serve that time. We've seen a bigger one from him. How about Jackson? A little running dig there to get it up. Costello, can he put it down? Yes, he will. 12-9, Lynchburg by 3. Good point there. Bryce Jackson doing a little bit of everything, man. Love watching him play.
That'll be Costello's 8th kill of the game, which will put him actually ahead of both Mason Kenna and Nick Redding, who both also have 7.
Jackson too strong on that serve. And Lynchburg's lead cut to a 2-point advantage. We've got number 4, Drew Fetzko, in the ball game now. First-year man from Midlothian, Virginia. So Ryan Turner not afraid to go to the reinforcements. Good work on that one by Nunez. And then Fetzko, not a great swing. He'll want to have that one back, and Bethany's within 1. Tough to come in, I won't say completely cold off the bench, but we hadn't seen Fetzko do much in a while, so all of a sudden the ball finds you on your first play in there, and that can be difficult.
Yeah, and especially because other teams, if they see that.
Mills went to Cole. It's down. Effort from Berardo was there. He just could not quite get the spatula under it.
Well, again, if you're coming in cold, then teams can recognize that, and sometimes you can be targeted to a certain extent also.
Definitely on the service line. This man, Logan Mills, has got a boomer back there. Hey, we're tied again. Dozen apiece. Yeah, there's the boomer. 8 up Nunez. Look at Lynchburg keeping it alive. It'll get in the rafters there. That's that low ceiling coming into play, and I hope we haven't overdone it in our dialogue about the game, but again, it happens so much, and that's when you can truly say, I mean, that ball's over if the ceiling is higher. Now, it doesn't mean Lynchburg's going to win the point, but they would have a chance to win the point.
It does keep it going a little bit longer.
Tied again, 13 apiece. Looks like Nick Redding's going to stride back out there. He's in for Nunez. And it's Miller Varley serving. A freshman from Bayport, New York. Again, the geography is just fabulous. Both these teams recruiting both coasts. They're recruiting in the Midwest. They're recruiting in their home states. Really cool, I think. There's Alexander Hall back in the ball game. He's a Virginia guy for Bethany. And he'll give the Bison the lead again, 14-13.
Lynchburg got a touch on that. Really nice job from the Bisons to keep this game so tight in a close matchup.
This is Isaiah Heverling. He's a senior from Bellington, West Virginia. Lynchburg down 1. Hornets are going to be down 2. I don't know if Varley had the intent of setting that, or if he just thought he needed to get some kind of skin on it to keep it alive.
I think the ball was going over the net, so I think Varley had somewhat of the right idea to try and, like you said, keep that alive on their own end. So I like the idea. It just happened to go where, really in no man's land, where nobody was around that ball.
Jeremiah Costello serving for Lynchburg. Another good one. Did that get on the line? Yes, it did. Bingo. Jeremiah Costello with an ace. Untouched. Awesome right there from Costello. Guys just call him Germ instead of saying out the whole Jeremiah. He may prefer that. I don't know. Maybe we need to ask him. Does he like the nickname Germ? Rally developing here. Alexander Hall will get absolutely roofed. Drew Fetzko doing the dirty work up top for Lynchburg. Had help from Kapitanov there. Outstanding blocking today for the Hornets all the way around.
Yeah, I like that rally for both teams. We did see really good communication from the Bison, just an even better block from Fetzko.
16-15, Lynchburg by 1. Cole kind of threw it across. They'll set Nick Redding. Redding got sent back. Our man Xavier Cole over there. And it was also number 15, Tyler Johnson, helping out. Here's Xavier Cole to serve. We're tied up, 16-16. Another close one. Berardo handles. Pass was tight to the net. Varley got there. Long one from Riley Burdett, and Lynchburg will lead again.
We saw that poke from Fetzko, barely got over that net. Just a little miscue and a mishit.
Lynchburg in the match, 8 points now from blocks, 8 points. Bethany has 3, just for reference. Kapitanov, awesome job to lift that off the hardwood. Burdett, a slight misplay there by Miller Varley. You could tell from the body language he immediately wanted to have that one back. And we're tied again, 17-17. In a game like this, you got to have like 19 different ways to say you're tied. I mean, you say stalemate, deadlock, I don't know, what else? No separation. There's probably a few others in there. Not asking you to do all the hard work for me. Burdett will loft it over. See where Lynchburg goes. In system. Maybe not what they wanted, as Costello had to push at it. Nice defense there by Varley. Setters out. But Lynchburg's going to score anyway. Nick Redding kind of off balance, leaner right there, but still got plenty of mustard on it to give the Hornets the lead.
Yeah, there have been a couple of close plays lately in this set where the Bison really haven't known whether they want to let that ball go or not. We saw the Costello ace that he had earlier, which just caught the line, and then that same exact play right there where they're just not entirely sure. And that's where communication does come into a part. You got to have people helping you out and letting you know what to do.
Communication, split-second decision-making. And you add some velocity to that, and that matters too, as Redding will fly in and roll one across. Back row attack. How about Berardo keeping it alive for Lynchburg? They got to dig it out of the net, and they do. Trap on kind of a behind-the-head shot. You see that? Wow, everything happening all at once here for both teams, but it's a 2-point Lynchburg lead.
A really great rally for both teams. It was a little scrappy if you go back and look at it, but I tell you what, if that behind the head, if that would have gone over the net, I mean, that would have been impressive. And it's not the first time today we've seen a play like that.
Setter attack. I like that word, scrappy. Gonna file that one away, use it more. Fetzko got a swipe. Look at it, another rally like we just had there. Scrappy for sure. Nick Redding missed the mark. And now the Bison are within 1 again. Yeah, that's, I think, a really, really accurate way to describe maybe not just the last couple plays, but the last 2 sets. Again, Lynchburg was pretty convincing in set 1, 25-10. Won't say it was easy, but it was convincing for Lynchburg. The last 2 have not felt like that. Last 2 are back and forth. Costello got sent back. Bison have tied it up again, 19 apiece.
Yeah, that front line working really well for the Bison. They got to figure out how they can get a tiny bit underneath the ball. But the thing is, if you focus on getting underneath the ball, then sometimes you're going to sky it past everybody, and that ball is going to go out.
Right. Serve into the net. That'll give Lynchburg the lead back. 2019. Both teams have had, we'll say, issues there. And both teams have had their moments from the service line as well. Lynchburg by 1 in set 3. They lead 2-0. Bison have to win this to keep it going. Another scrappy rally. Over by Berardo behind his head with the free ball. There's the set to Trapp. Berardo made a dive, couldn't get the left paw on it. Rylan Trapp, sophomore from Belleville, Illinois, scores, and it's another deadlock, 20-20.
Well, at the beginning of that rally, you see Kapitanov does jump up a little early, and so it's really tough to be able to set back up for another block that you know is coming right after that.
Here we go. We've got a timeout on the court. We'll catch our breath and bring it back in just a second. Lynchburg down by 1 in set 3. Welcome back, volleyball fans. It's set 3 between Bethany and Lynchburg. Let's take a look at the upcoming Lynchburg schedule. We've talked about it a little bit, Mr. Morotsky, but the Hornets are obviously very busy in the month of March. Look at that. I mean, how good does that look? That's like artwork there.
Yeah, that's real pretty. I mean, we got a lot of new stuff here coming into this spring semester, and this is something that we've been so excited here at LHSN to see.
It's fantastic. Yeah, Lynchburg, 2 more home games. See it there, Macon, EMU. Then they'll hit the road to Virginia Beach to take on Virginia Wesleyan. I would say all 3 of those games are winnable, but Lynchburg's got to play well. You got to bring your A game against all 3 of those ball clubs, and you've been saying it all day as Rylan Trapp kind of looked like a bull rush move there. Too long. We're tied again. But finishing thought, you've been saying this all day. I mean, Old Dominion Athletic Conference play, not just in men's volleyball, but every sport, you got to bring it. I mean, there's no off days. There's no cupcakes. And for Lynchburg, of course, in your first season, is the challenge of that. You haven't quite built the program just yet, but we're seeing the foundation laid, and Bethany continues to really get after Lynchburg here. This is a good fight from the visiting Bison.
Yeah, really good job. They're not letting Lynchburg get any sort of momentum, and they're not letting them get enough to where they can extend a lead. I mean, obviously with Bison winning by 1 so far, or right now in set 3, are now tied up after that serving error, but they're not letting Lynchburg walk away with this. They're going to fight. They're going to make them get every last point. They're going to make them earn it, Kyle, and that's what's so great that this Bethany team has been doing in the second and third set.
We're tied up at 22 apiece again. We had this situation in set 2. We were knotted up at 22. And in set 2, worth remembering, Bethany had a set point, 24-23. Lynchburg came back and actually won the next 3 consecutive points to take set 2, 26-24. Lynchburg way out in front, 25-10 in set 1. But now, Bison are within 2 again. Isaiah Haverling in to serve, the senior from Bellington, West Virginia. Set serve, doesn't even leave his feet at all. Oh my goodness, absolutely belted Stefan Kapitanov. My goodness, that was full force.
A really great job, a lot of velocity on that swing. Beautiful setup from the Hornets squad. And maybe a swing like that is going to be that momentum shifter for the Hornets.
Might have to go back to Steph again after that. He's got to be feeling it. 23-23. Tie ball game. Lynchburg got a piece of it on the block, but couldn't hoist it up. Bethany's within 1. Bison, of course, need to win this set to keep playing. Down 2-0. Fan favorite Xavier Cole to serve it. Broadcaster favorite anyway. Cole couldn't get it over. Think he was feeling some pressure there, or maybe just a regular old miss? Who knows?
A little bit of both, possibly. Obviously, you want to be that guy that wins the team this set, but you know, he looks fine on the sidelines. Again, Cole is always going to have a smile on his face. He's always going to laugh it up with his teammates.
Steph Kapitanov to serve now for Lynchburg. He'll get in position. Line drive, too strong. Lynchburg is within one now, 25-24. Timeout coming from Bethany. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we've seen that a couple times from Trapp, throwing that ball, just pushing it a little too far.
We'll keep it here. Lynchburg is now 1 point away from taking the sweep. And whether it's noteworthy or negligible, I'm going to say it again. Lynchburg, all of their wins this year have come from sweeps. All 3-0 victories for Lynchburg. You feel like at some point they're going to win in 4 or 5 sets, but I think they would prefer to have it not be here. They'd rather finish this thing off right now, don't you think, Ethan?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And with Lynchburg only winning on sweeps, when it goes to that 4th and 5th set, you think maybe it could be some physicality issues or some staying locked in, some things like that. There's so many factors that could go into it, and obviously this Lynchburg team, a really good job closing games out when they have the opportunity of sweeps, so they're going to try and do the same here against Bethany.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors involved, as there usually is. You get a look at the Lynchburg timeout huddle. Seems like a lot of high spirits over there. And let's see how Lynchburg tries to end this. I think Steph probably tries to end it from the service line. I think he's going to pull out his best arrow from the quiver right here. But if Lynchburg then has to get in transition and try to score, let's see who the set goes to. Softer serve. Oh, and it was oh so close. Kapitanov took some pace off of that one, but just floated it too strong. And here we go, locked up again, 25 apiece between the Bison and the Hornets.
This is a really great volleyball game, not just if you're a Hornet or Bison fan, but if you're just a volleyball fan in general, this is really fun to watch.
Serve receive. Lynchburg wants Redding, and he gets it. Hornets got a set and a match point again. Nick Redding, the lefty stroker from San Diego. Now he has a chance to end it on the service line. Nick Redding. Oh, that one tipped over. Bison keep it alive, though. Free ball coming. Let's see where Lynchburg goes. Redding again, maybe? No, middle. Bryce Jackson. Oh, he couldn't keep it in. 26-26. Great setup for Lynchburg. Bethany stays alive.
And that right there is an example of maybe a little too much anxiety. You had a really nice set there from Varley and doing a little too much there and catching that outside of the court.
Nunez is in the game again. Back row. Serve will pick him out. They go to Bryce Jackson again. He'll get that one down. Lynchburg set and match point coming up again. Bryce Jackson, sophomore, 6'5" man, doing what he does best. Efficient scoring from Bryce Jackson.
Well, we knew that miss hit was an error by him, and it's a rare mistake, but they went right back to him to get that.
Lynchburg gonna get it on a block. Official says it's in. Official says it's in. That's your game. Lynchburg gets the block to win it. It was close. Setter Logan Mills is going to go over and ask the official, was that ball in or out? This is kind of an anticlimactic way to finish, but I think we're going to be done here. I think Lynchburg wins it. Official's not going to overturn that, Mr. Morotsky. That's a Lynchburg win. Hornets win it.
Yeah, another sweep. Obviously some frustration from the coaching staff and the players. Some choice words for the referee, but a really great volleyball match. Obviously, it was a sweep 3-0 in favor of Lynchburg, but it was really close the entire way through. The first set, Lynchburg did dominate a little more, but that second and third set, it was close to the entire way. I mean, we had to see some extra points here.
2 sets went to extra points there after Lynchburg dominated set number 1. Hornets take the sweep. They moved to 9-9 on the season. Lynchburg split on the day after losing to Roanoke in 4 sets. Earlier this afternoon, some numbers scores for Lynchburg in this one. The hitting percentage was .243. They had 10 aces, 9 team blocks, including the final one there at the end. Lynchburg was led by Nick Redding, 9 terminations in this one. Redding was outstanding as always. Jeremiah Costello, 8 kills. On the other side for Bethany, their attack was pretty well spread around, but Riley Burdett finishes this matchup with 6 terminations. So we ran down the schedule earlier. It's Wednesday night in Turner. I believe that is a 7 p.m. start time, and I'm going to double check that one just really quick, Ethan. But all the info is available online at lynchburgsports.com. We, as always, invite you to follow along with the social media destinations, doing some fun stuff. It's a 7 p.m. first serve on Wednesday. Ski got the info for me. But yeah, the social media stuff, man, it's going to be a blast. You might even get to see, Ethan Morotsky try to return one of those Jeremiah Costello serves, or perhaps Joe Brennan, I'm hearing, is going to take a shot at maybe trying to get one of those serves back. But yeah, follow along on the socials if you're doing that, and keep watching. Fun day, Mr. Morotsky. 3 games, they all had something unique and pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast to watch. It was a blast to be able to broadcast all 3 games with you. It's always a good day when it's just full of sports, and then that's the beauty that you're going to get here in Lynchburg. You're going to have sports all over the place.
It's a lot of fun. We're glad you watched it along with us. We'll say so long. Big thank you to the LHSN crew. Long day for them. Appreciate the hard work, and we appreciate you watching. Lynchburg beats Bethany in straight sets. Hornets go to 8-9 on the season, and we are so glad you got to watch it on the Lynchburg Hornets. It's 9-9, Ethan says. It's 9-9. He was whispering. You could have just yelled it out. Broadcast is almost over. We don't have to worry about being A+ now. So anyway, it's 9-9 for Lynchburg. Thank you for that. They'll try to get over 500 when they take on Randolph-Macon coming up this Wednesday. We'll talk to you then, sports fans. Appreciate you watching on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.